welcome to our jazz band concert. We're kicking things off with a piece that wastes no time turning up the heat. Fire Shaker is full of energy, fire, and flair. And if we got some serious solo power to show it off, listen for Matt Sunderland and Mr. Young on trumpet, and me on tenor saxophone.
next tune is a swing era classic that'll make you straight back to the big old days, the big band days. String of Pearls was made famous by the Glenn Miller Orchestra and has one of those melodies that just sticks with you. Tonight, it features solos from Gavin Kimberling on alto saxophone, Lily Goldbach on tenor saxophone, and Owen Weibel on trumpet.
As we continue, we will have our first vocal feature of the night by inviting a senior vocalist to the stage. Coming up next is a jazzy little number that tells the story of love hitting out of nowhere, kind of like a cartoon anvil, but way more musical. Here's Orange-Colored Sky, as well we welcome Christian Hyger to the stage.
Minding my business, turn orange-colored sky. us to appreciate the beauty in everyday life. Originally made famous by Louis Armstrong, Wonderful World is a musical hug. No solos this time, just gorgeous harmonies and heart. After What a Wonderful World, we will play a new piece that highlights some food choices. We will play number 1, No Pickles, featuring me on trombone with my pickle solo.
first set of music with two last classics. Alright, it's time to get funky. Chameleon is this jazz fusion hit by Herbie Hancock, and it grooves hard from start to finish. This one's packed with solos, so get ready to hear from Ben Price and Andy Nelson on alto sax, Bobby Mitchell on trumpet, Lily Goldblatt on tenor sax, and Aaron Pearson shredding the guitar. After Chameleon, it is time to feature our brass section. If you like music that hits you in the chest with sound, Brass Machine is for you. This tune is high energy, powerful, and, well, brassy. Tonight we're featuring Owen Weibel lighting it up on trumpet.
So as long as you may know, I don't like to speak a lot, I like to be more student-centered, so they're doing all the introducing tonight, but I have one important job, and it's at the end of the spring, I have to find ways to honor our senior class. And this year it's a huge class to the jazz band. So we're going to introduce each senior, and I'm going to talk about a little bit of what their next plans are, and then I have a few senior awards for us. So, let's go ahead and get things started. Alex Brozinski has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Alex has participated in the concert band and the jazz band. He will be attending Washington Jefferson University, where he will be majoring in psychology with the goal of becoming a therapist and owning his own practice. Allie Chen. Allie has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Allie has participated in the jazz band and the marching band. She is also a 4-year member of the high school string orchestra. She will be attending the University of Pittsburgh, where she will be majoring in marketing with the goal of working for the National Geographic Marketing System. Congratulations, Allie. Lily Goldbach has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Lily has participated in the concert band, wind symphony, jazz band, pep band, and the marching band. She will be attending West Virginia University, where she'll be majoring in wildlife and fisheries resources with the goal of working in the wildlife conservation research or law enforcement. Lily also plans on participating in the Pride of West Virginia, the Mountaineer Marching Band, which she got accepted into last week. Congratulations, Lily. Gavin Cooper has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Gavin has participated in the concert band and jazz band. He will be attending the Robert Morris University, where he will be majoring in secondary education with a focus of social studies as the goal of working as a high school social studies teacher. Congratulations, Gavin. Chris McKay has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Chris has participated in the concert band, wind symphony, and the jazz band. He will be attending the University of Pittsburgh, where he will be majoring in finance with the goal of working in investment banking. Congratulations, Chris. Bobby Mitchell. Bobby has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. I guess my repair button's going up. Bobby has participated in the concert band, wind symphony, jazz band, and marching band. He will be attending the University of Pittsburgh, where he's undecided on his career path at the moment. Bobby also plans to participate in the University of Pittsburgh varsity marching band as well as their jazz band. Congratulations, Bobby. Andy Nelson. Andy has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Andy has participated in the concert band, wind symphony, and jazz band. He will be attending the University of Delaware, where he will be majoring in chemical engineering with the goal of working in the pharmaceutical industry. Congratulations, Andy. Aaron Peterson. Aaron has participated in the high school band program for 3 years. Aaron has participated in just the jazz band as our lone guitarist. He will be attending the Grove City College, where he will be majoring in mechanical engineering with the goal of becoming an aerospace engineer. Congratulations, Aaron. Ben Price. Ben has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Ben has participated in the concert band and the jazz band. He will be attending the Ohio State University, where he will be majoring in chemical engineering with the goal of working in nuclear research. Congratulations, Ben. Jacob Simcoe. Jacob has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Jacob has participated in the concert band, wind symphony, marching band, jazz band, and has also taken the piano songwriting class. He will be attending Penn State University, where he will be majoring in mechanical engineering with the goal of working as a mechanical engineer. Jacob also plans to participate in the Pride of Alliance pep band. Congratulations, Jacob. Max Sunderland. Max participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Max participated in the concert band, wind symphony, jazz band, and marching band. He will be attending the University of Pittsburgh, where he will be majoring in pharmacy with the goal of working as a pharmacist. Congratulations, Max. Garrett Thomas. Garrett has participated in the band program for 4 years. Garrett has participated in the concert band, wind symphony, jazz band, pep band, and marching band. He will be attending the University of Pittsburgh, where he will be majoring in mechanical engineering with the goal of working as a mechanical technician. Congratulations, Garrett. And our final senior, Owen Weibel. Owen has participated in the high school band program for 4 years. Owen has participated in the concert band, wind symphony, jazz band, marching band, as well as taking music theory this semester. He will be attending the Kent State University, where he will be majoring in physics with the goal of becoming an astrophysicist. Owen also plans on participating in the Golden Flashes marching band at Kent State. Congratulations, Owen. And one more time for our class of 2025. Go sit. While we move on, I do have 3 awards to present tonight to these lovely seniors. So tonight I'll be presenting 3 different awards on behalf of the high school band department. The awards that will be presented are the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award, the Patrick S. Gilmore Band Award, and the Woody Herman Jazz Award. We're going to begin with the Woody Herman Jazz Award. The Woody Herman Jazz Award was created in 1988, shortly after Herman's death, to honor outstanding jazz students. It also honors outstanding jazz musicians at each high school. This year's recipient of the Woody Herman Jazz Award is an integral part of this year's jazz band, as well as participating in many different activities inside the music department. This year's recipient of the Woody Herman Jazz Award is Mr. Garrett Thomas. Our next award, the Patrick S. Gilmore Band Award. The Patrick S. Gilmore Band Award is a prestigious award given in a high school band program that recognizes outstanding musicianship, dedication, and contributions to the band program. This student has also been seen as an integral part of the jazz program, serving as a soloist many times throughout this year and his last year. This year's recipient of the Patrick S. Gilmore Band Award is Mr. Aaron Peterson. And our final, the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award. The Louis Armstrong Jazz Award was inaugurated in 1974 with the consent of his widow shortly after this great jazz artist died in 1971. It honors the outstanding jazz musicians at each high school. The Louis Armstrong Jazz Award is the pinnacle of achievement in the high school jazz program, similar to the John Phillips Sousa Award that I will present on Wednesday evening. This year's recipient is also an integral part of the jazz band, where he serves in a leadership role throughout all of our playing. This year's recipient of the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award is Mr. Bobby Mitchell. And we're going to get back to the show. We have 7 more charts for you, and Lily's going to get us started. Here we go.
As we transition back to the music, we have 7 more songs coming your way. Our next piece brings the unmistakable groove of Earth, Wind, and Fire to the stage. In the Stone is bold, driving, and just plain fun to play. We're featuring Ryan Falls on trombone, so give it up for Little Brass.
one's a smooth, soulful ballad originally made famous by Whitney Houston. We're taking it in a jazzy direction tonight, and Lily Goldbach brings the emotions with a solo on her tenor saxophone. Here's Saving All My Love for You.
Next up is a romantic tune with some serious charm, Michael Bublé's Everything. We welcome another senior vocalist to the stage as Juliana Taylor will join us to sing Everything.
Getaway car, you're the line in the sand. When I go too far, every word, you're everything. And in these crazy nights, and in those crazy times, it's you, make me sing your every line, your every word, your everything, your every song. I sing along, 'cause you're my everything.
Our next piece is pure nostalgia. You probably know it from Wizard of Oz, but this version has a rich, soaring brass sound. Owen Weibel and Bobby Mitchell will be sharing the spotlight on trumpet in this arrangement of Over the Rainbow.
This one's a message song, originally performed by Michael Jackson. Man in the Mirror encourages us to look within before we try to change the world. And tonight, Andy Nelson brings that message home with a heartfelt alto sax solo.
and it gives our saxes and rhythm section a chance to let loose. Solos tonight by Andy Nelson on saxophone and Aaron Peterson on guitar.
I got this one. It's the final one. As we finish this evening, we're going to have one more song for you. We're going to play Uptown Fun. Before we get there, I need to make a couple of big announcements. As we go through the rest of this week, we're just the first concert of 3. So on Wednesday night, the Wind Symphony and Concert Band will be here on the stage at 7 p.m., as well as the middle school with their 7th and 8th grade band. So we're going to play a combined piece with both high school groups, then we're going to play a combined piece with all 3 groups. On Thursday night, it is all the choirs concert. They will be here starting at 7 p.m. And then the following week, we have our first band concert for all those students in 4th and 5th grade. They will be here on Tuesday, the 4th, 5th grade, and 6th grade. And then on Wednesday night will be the high school string orchestra as well as the middle school Apollo orchestra. So we are really excited to get this kind of week started as we go through. We have one more piece for you, and that's Uptown Funk. We're going to feature Lily Goldbuck on tenor sax, Owen Weibel on trumpet, Chris McKay on barry sax, Ben Price on alto sax, and Aaron Peterson on guitar. I hope you enjoy this evening. Drive safely as you leave. And again, it's Uptown Funk, last song. Here we go. Thank you once again, and